bad boy on campus. Y'all know me.
From the hottest topics to the wildest stories, you are now tuned in to the #1 podcast in the nation, the Teachers Only Podcast with Eddie B. Hey, what's up, man? You already know what it is, man. It's the Teacher Only Podcast with your boy Eddie B. The bad boy on campus, your favorite teacher's favorite teacher. I say what teachers really want to say, but I ain't gonna get fired because I don't work for them people. So you know what it is, man. Been in the game for a minute, and oh man, what's going on? Moment of silence, man, for the all the people who lost their lives in the flood, man, in Texas. I think it was this past week, right? This past week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids too that were in the camp, man. That was a sad situation. And the flooding happened, and a lot of them didn't have time to get out, man. So that was unfortunate. It's a sad day. So quick moment of silence for the kids and the adults who lost their lives in that flood. Hope y'all been good this summer, man. School about to start back. I hate to admit it, man. I'm sorry. I usually tell teachers, man, if people start talking about going back to school around you, they're really not your friend. You don't need to talk to them. I'm pretty sure all the people who work summer school, I hope you got a plan. I hope you had a plan because you didn't have enough damn time to recoup and get your energy and them levels back that you're going to need to deal with this school year, because every year presents a new challenge. You know, believe me, I know, 13 years, public school teaching, first job assignment was at an alternative school. So you can't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Other educators who have other experiences, who work in better situations, you know, the situations where probably you have more community support. Yeah, don't discount the issues that other educators have that don't have, you know, what you have in place on your campus. So just understand, everybody ain't talking for no reason. Everybody ain't just, you know, rambling off. His teachers is really going through it. So be supportive when you can. So my guest today, I'm new to his page, but what he speaks about and how he delivers his messages, it was intriguing to me. He definitely have a point of view. He definitely he got some stuff to say out here. Okay, there's some things that is on his chest that he ain't letting stay there. This is actually our first conversation, which I appreciate. So a lot of stuff I'm gonna find out about him when y'all find out too. I was able to look at a few of his clips once I got turned on to him, and I see what it's about. So he definitely has a point of view, an edge, whether it's popular or unpopular. Some people, I usually say, a lot of people who have problems with a lot of stuff that we say, if it's on point, they're probably part of the problem. So without further ado, teacher slash activist slash influencer, I want all of my people show some love for Sir B. What's up, man?
What's good, y'all? What's good? I'm here.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you were able to come on. Teachers Only Podcast. This is the third or fourth episode. We had one. I don't know about counting that, but with the structure that we have now. So I'm glad I can get you on early, man. I'm glad I found out about your material on your socials, man. So real brief, are you teaching? Are you not teaching? Yes or no right now?
I'm not teaching right now.
Okay.
You know, I got my license of social work. I'm a licensed master social work, so I got my licensure for social work.
Okay.
So I'm working on getting out of the classroom and going into social work. Teaching is social work, so I was already doing social work and teaching. So a lot of things that I've been finding in job interviews is that, like, a lot of jobs like that I was a teacher. I haven't made content about that, but like, when people do decide to leave the classroom, I hope they don't think that like they're stuck to a mold of a box. I think it's just how you market yourself. Me personally, I was a grade level chair and content lead at my school. So those are leadership positions. So I just think like every job that I've been applying to, I've just been making it known that I've been a leader while being a teacher. And I think that's important.
Okay. So you do teach. You're just not teaching right now.
I'm not teaching at all.
You taught before though, right?
I taught for 4 years.
You taught for 4 years. What grade levels did you teach when you taught?
So my first 2 years I taught ELA, and then the second, I want to say year and a half, I taught eighth grade.
8th grade. So middle school, just all middle school.
All middle school.
Okay, cool. 4 years. That's about enough time for you to figure out you just stepped in some. That's about enough time.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to teach?
So actually, a lot of people don't know this, but like I'm a Teach for America core member. I don't know if you know what Teach for America is.
Yeah,
A great
yeah. We
organization.
know.
Love Teach
You
for
say a
America.
board. You say a board member.
Oh no, I'm a alumni, so I do
Oh,
Teach
okay.
for America.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know
And
that.
how does that work for the people who don't know how Teach for America work? I know you get placed
Mhm.
somewhere and you owe them like 2 years. Is
Right.
that
I would love to talk about Teach for America because I'm actually a Teach for America cheerleader.
okay?
But basically, Teach for America sends leaders into communities, urban communities, and you serve for 2 years. And they help you get certified. But Teach for America mission is just something that I could not not be a part of. But basically, they fight education inequity in low income communities because we know kids are in underserved populations. They can't go to certain schools because of their zip code or there's zoning issues that are a part of that like process for them to get a good quality education. So Teach for America send people, leaders like me, that are want to fight systemic racism, that want to fight education and equity, to teach for 2 years. So I was sent to Houston, and I'm originally from Florida, and I finished my commitment. So I did it beyond 2 years, and I did 4 years. So yeah,
Okay. What part of Florida you from? You from
Broward County.
Broward County?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know about that county, man. You know what? Florida show a lot of love and support every time I go to any city. Really, the cities that are in Broward County. Broward County is big. It's a huge county, man, with a
What's
lot
that?
of schools in it. So, and it's what you was talking about is probably a lot of underserved communities and schools in that county too. So, let's get to the chase, man. When I saw your material, man, when I saw your social media, I was like, yeah, dude got a point of view, man, and you loud with it, and it's like a unapologetic type delivery
Mm-hmm.
that you have on your socials. Does that have anything to do with why you're not teaching now? Did you get pushed out because of your content, or you just not teaching right now?
I think it's not even my content because my like content is content, and I feel like we have to remember that this is content, right? And the purpose for our content is for the viewer to engage, and that's just that. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter the content, but me as the content creator, I
Mm-hmm.
am strategizing to create this content so that you can engage with it. And I'm saying that statement just to say that, like, not what I put out is propaganda, but like I'm a content creator that has bills to pay. I think that's just like one thing, and I'm just real. Like I'm not gonna lie about that. But like any story that I have put on my TikTok in regards to like education and me being pushed out is real. Like that has happened. I just think that's not a me thing. I think that's a black man thing. And I say that to say, like, I didn't get pushed out of any school because of my performance. Like, it never was my performance. It never was my social media. It was because of my mouth. Like, me speaking up or me calling out systems or calling out things that were inappropriate, and administration didn't like that. Hence, like, there was a downward spiral, or there was a down spiral from me speaking up, basically.
Yeah,
But
that's
like,
usually.
for as like me getting fired, like I don't even like to use their word fire because I never been fired. But like I have been pushed out of schools because of my mouth or me speaking up in spaces that were inequitable.
My mentor, his name is Larry McKenzie. He's synonymous for speaking out about what he sees, and he's unpopular with all of the districts. I mean, I've had to testify in court because of this because of my mentor against, going against the district that he worked for.
Correct.
He's been pushed out a few districts because of he speaks out. So uh, I have firsthand experience seeing how the districts and leadership handle being confronted by, I guess they would call us subordinates because we're educators,
Hmm.
an educator who is not afraid to speak out. And they kind of get ostracized, alienated, pushed out. You know, the strategic way they move you out. The write ups come, the false accusations of, they might, growth plans, all that.
Hmm.
They have their ways to move you out. And then they move you out and then have this, they blackball you a little bit with
Correct.
that district, but there's always districts. that are higher, especially males,
Mm-hmm.
because we resemble discipline, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, my mentors was the same way. So what you saying, yeah, super true, super true. It happens. It's not a coincidence. Anybody in education, teacher in the teacher position who speaks out, yeah, prepare for that backlash.
Right.
And a lot of times, just social media that we got going on. Like when I first started, come on now, everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loved it. Somebody had a problem with it
Right.
though. And the one who had a problem with it, that was the problem. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even trying to address nobody. I was talking about what I was going through in education as a public school teacher
Right.
and and that, people loved it, but you throw a stick in a pack of dogs, the one that barked the loudest is the one that got hit. So he
Mm-hmm.
got hit and he was pressing, pressing, pressing. I always trying to, so my videos out, sometimes he'll say, oh, you got the logo. He's just trying to nitpick now, but just so happened my principal was cool with it, and the superintendent for charter school is different. They don't call it superintendent; they call it director. The
Mm-hmm.
director sent me personal messages telling me how she loved my content. So I screenshot that, sent it to my principal, so she'll know that I'm not. This
Right.
dude is full of. He's just hating on me basically. So for sure, for sure. Now you speaking out. What made you begin real briefly? Like, what made you feel like, man, I gotta say something about what's going on where I work at?
Right. So I always been outspoken. That's just kind of like part of my personality. Very outspoken person. I think for me, what made me like started doing content is that like I never want to use my voice. And that's like if you go like down my page, you could like see like I did a lot of like voiceovers, I did a lot of like meme videos. And
Okay.
then I joined the Creative Fund and I realized people love when I talk because I don't be talking about BS, especially when it comes to like education. Like I try to make it quick and I try to make it short and I try to make it sweet because I want the information to get out to the masses. And sometimes I have made videos that are not monetized just so that I can get my point across because the passion is there. But a lot of times, what really made me start like going into social media, I was broke.
Hmm.
I was broke, could not feed myself. Like as a first year teacher, I could not like do anything. So I was looking for extra ways to make income. I did want to do Uber. I didn't want to do Lyft. I was dating someone, and they was a content creator. Crazy full story circle moment, and they was just kind of like, you need to do content. You need to do content. You can make so much like opportunity for yourself if you do content. And then it's like you have that personality. And for a whole year, Eddie, I never did it. Like
Hmm.
my first year teacher, I never did content. My second year teacher, I never did content. It was my third year teaching where I was just kind of like, well, let me start recording. And I
Hmm.
recorded that whole year. And that whole year, I broke into the algorithm of education TikTok. Like I just started posting, 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 posting. And I think like my fourth year, the beginning of my fourth year is like when my page got established with all my videos. So a lot of consistent posting and just posting whatever I felt I think was important, but making sure it was appropriate
Yeah.
for my beginning stages.
I got you. Yeah. So you got into it for one. You posted and you wanted to make some money on
Mhm.
social media because you see everybody around you, even who you were talking to was making money on social media. You feel me? You feel me? I got you. I got you. So
Make
when
it,
you
I can
start,
make it. So
hey, because every teacher got to have a side hustle
correct.
if you're gonna stay in it. We don't make enough. That's an old narrative. Everybody know that's just the truth, man.
And I
So
want to, and sorry to interrupt you. I want to speak to that point. You don't see like the big creators talking about being like financially stressed. Why? Because they have millions and millions of followers and they're talking and making videos and making money. So I'm not mad at it and I hating on that, but it's like if they can do it, I can do it too. It doesn't like even
sure.
matter. Like that's all I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I would always say teaching, man, is the profession that'll that'll drive you to your passion. Yeah,
Correct.
teaching long enough will get you to a hustle.
Mhm.
You'll find out stuff, and hey, kudos for going into another lane just to make some bread.
Right.
Other than what they was giving you, so you don't have to depend on just that check from the district, man.
Mhm.
But when you start speaking out, um, did you feel did you feel like you created enemies? And if you did, was it more teachers, leaders, uh, uh leaders of parents, or a little bit of of all three?
So parents love me. A lot of parents DM me on TikTok and they like know I teach their kids and
Okay.
watch my content. Parents love me, staff love me, students love me. It's always administration. And I can't even say it's always administration because my last principal that I worked under in my charter school, she absolutely did not care about my content, Eddie. If
Mm.
can I curse on here? I don't know if I can curse on here.
Yeah, I mean,
Her,
this is where you can be you.
her
Yeah.
statement was like, she said, I actually don't give a fuck about his content. And I heard that
Mm.
through my administrator. Like she told me that about my content. Now, what happened with my first school, and I mentioned this on my TikTok, is that like she got a call from somebody that was higher than her that told her to fire me. Like
Mm.
that's what that was. And when you're making 100K as a principal and you're running a school, you do what people say. I'm not mad at her for that, but like that's just how that worked. Like a higher up called her and told her to do that. I think any situation that I have encountered with my content are people that are of my counterpart of me. So like white people, sadly, and not all white people. This is not like a
Mm.
bash white people because I have a good amount of white supporters. I just want to say that. But like there
Yeah.
is a good majority of people that I be seeing on video, like they're gonna make a community and they talk about my videos. They don't think they know I'm talking about. Like they don't think I know, but like I get it. And I would say administration. And when I say when it comes to administration, I can't work under somebody. I'm learning that when it comes to
Mm.
ELA. I teach ELA. ELA is my bread and butter, Eddie. I don't care what you see on TikTok. I can teach some ELA. Like office purpose, main idea. When it comes to that stuff, that's like when I come alive. And what I notice is like my mouth gets me in trouble with every superior I have because I call out that they can't do my job. Like they're not even they can't coach me well, or I have surpassed my level of growth that I'm looking for a new type of growth as a teacher, and they can't support that. But like every coach that I have had from my first year experience of teaching have like tried to belittle me for it's like supervising me, and I don't allow that. And that's
Mm.
another reason why I get in trouble because I called them out on that, on those things when you're not doing your job correctly. Um,
You mentioned something in one of your videos about like you speaking out
mhm,
and you were addressing teachers being silent and
mhm,
what you kind of equal that too.
mhm.
Can you kind of expound on that? Like how do you? What is your take on teachers that, like obviously because that's the majority. The majority is scared to say something.
Correct.
I don't want to say scared, but don't want to rock that boat. What's your take on teachers being silent, like different from how you are?
I think it's job security, Eddie, and that's just what it is. I can
Yeah.
talk because I have a degree in social work. That advocating is what I'm supposed to do as a social worker. Is in my code of ethics. I am supposed to advocate for my clients and my patients when I am acting as such or acting as a social worker. So I think a lot of times people think about job security and they think about what they're experiencing and they get complacent. Me, I know that there's a God. There is a God. And
Mhm.
he works very well. And I don't think like God would forsake me for speaking up about inequity. I think a lot of times it's fear. And a fear stops us from doing a lot of things in life. Not saying I want every teacher in America to get online and be like, education is bad, education is bad, education is bad. I'm not saying I want that to happen.
Mhm.
But I do think if you are experiencing education inequity, and I want to speak to education inequity because we talk about education being bad, but what's bad about education is educational inequity and systemic racism in
Mhm.
education, if we really being honest. So,
Mhm.
like, if we had a lot more of those teachers to speak on those things, I think a lot of things would be changing, honestly. If we had a lot more people like us that are talking about the things that are really happening in education, a lot of people actually stop and be like, wow, y'all know kids can't read?
Mhm.
I seen 5,000 teachers. Like they see teachers talk about it, but they don't see it in the mass.
You
No,
got a point. You got a point. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Whatever it is, they not. My only thing is if you're not gonna speak up, don't talk down on the one who is speaking up. Try to support them or try to understand where they're coming from, even if it's not exactly what you're going through.
hmm
Just for the fact that you know, we we take the same stripes in this
right,
profession as educators. Have my back a little bit.
right.
Just and sometimes you can have somebody back by just not saying nothing, letting them do their thing, and just be a little amen corner. Now
Correct.
I was watching one of your videos, and you said and you created a term. I never heard this term, and basically it was how teachers they confide in each other, and all they doing is perpetuating stress levels,
Hmm.
and I think that probably contributes to burnout,
Hmm.
and they don't even know it. And some people think it's just oh, they work with me, I can talk to them like this here, and we good. They understand what I'm going through. But man, you call it trauma bonding,
Hmm.
and I was like, whoa, 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 that's a term.
Hmm.
Kind of expound on that phrase that you came up with called trauma bonding amongst teachers.
Right. So when we think about the word trauma bonding, Eddie, I wanted you to not think about education when I explain this to you. So
Okay.
trauma bonding, you could be in a relationship with somebody else, your significant other. Y'all could go on dates. That's fun.
Mhm.
Y'all can have a little rubber in the bedroom. That's fun. That's fun too.
Okay.
But y'all can have some really bad underlying issues, like y'all don't know how to talk to each other.
Hmm.
There's like subtle abuse going on, or communicate like vast communication issues that are stopping the flow of the relationship from happening. I think those that right there is trauma bonding. Like I could be
Hmm.
dating someone and I lost my mom and my grandmother, right? I can go find somebody that lost their mom and their grandmother and think they're a beautiful person, but we're gonna bond over the fact that I lost my mom and my grandmother because they lost their mom and grandmother. Does that
Okay.
make it healthy? 10%, yeah, but if that right there is causing problems in our relationship and we can't exist, it's trauma bonding. We're only existing because of a circumstance thing that is in our life, basically death. So taking that out of the concept of real life, let's put that in education.
Hmm.
Educators, right, teachers, we are our safe space. Some of us, right, we know who not to trust, but like the
Hmm.
teachers that we really love and the teachers that you see every day are sometimes getting us through that 9 to 5. That's just it. Like I don't have some teachers that if they wasn't there, my whole day was like my anxiety was high. But I'm saying that to say like you get these 3 to 4 teachers and y'all all have the same lunch. And you're noticing that you sit in Ms. Jones' room every day. And Ms. Jones got an update about this administrator, but you kind of like going through something, but you're not really going through what Ms. Jones going through. But everybody in that classroom feels safe to dump and just dump all the things that they're going through in their professional life. And
Hmm.
professional career at that school. You're hearing that, you're a part of that because you're a teacher, and you have feelings about those things because you're a teacher, and you're like, damn, that can happen to you, that can happen to me. And I just
Hmm.
feel like when that behavior or that Reddit is happening every single day, you are trauma bonding because we're all bonding over traumatic things that are happening in the school instead of
Hmm.
like doing something about it. Like we all gonna schedule a walkout and just not show up. That's not trauma bonding. That's activism. That's doing like that's getting in the field. When we're all just sitting around talking about, set problems and not doing anything about it, sorry to tell you, it is trauma bonding.
Yeah, man, you got a point. Because I noticed when I would communicate with people, and I was the funny guy on campus, the fun one,
Right.
but basically we just sharing problems. It ain't like we at the bar or something,
Hmm.
drinking through them. When you at school or on where you work at, you share them little issues. Now your issues become their issues,
Right.
and their issues become you. So you think about, dang, they go through this, da da da, and so now you got a couple more things on your plate. So trauma bonding, that's a real deal. You might need to put that on a t-shirt, bro. I'm
Hmm.
saying that right now. Somebody snatched that.
Future
But
trauma
trauma
bonding.
bonding is I think that like you said, it transcends education though, in relationships, in life. Somebody going through something, they say birds of a feather, that type of thing.
Hmm.
Trauma bonding, you going through something, I've been through something, we both been through something, we can talk, you can understand what I'm saying, but ain't no solutions came up out
Right.
of the talking. So basically you just bouncing off issues and nothing getting solved.
Right.
I feel that, man. One thing in education is really, really crazy right now. This school year coming up, especially I think in Texas, they're talking about banning the cell phones from the kids using them. I don't want to talk about the cell phone ban, right?
Hmm.
I want to talk about the conversation that comes up. That's the root of what's going to be the issues, and I think it's going to be, teachers feeling one way about it. All right,
Hmm.
parents. feeling one way about it. And so when I bring up that, to be honest with you, that can be the basis of that can be the basis of the success of a kid or a failure of a kid. The
Mhm.
communication between teacher and parent. I don't think people really know how important that bond should be.
Mhm.
But it get overlooked. Parents are so far up their kids' ass
Mhm.
that they don't understand that the kid be lying, out of sight, out of mind. It's this baby at home, but when he get here, he tripping.
Right.
Okay, when she get here, she tripping. So understand what I'm saying to you. They don't really want to understand. So my question to you is, what are your thoughts on, like, in this day and age?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on parent-teacher communication and how it affects, what we see from these kids? And if you have like a personal story about you and a parent and something worked out when it worked out or something didn't and it didn't, to kind of prove that point.
I think parent communication is what you make it as a teacher. Um, a lot of times parents are just sending their kids to school, sadly. Like that's just what it is. A lot of parents are going through a lot of things too. And I think a lot of times we forget like the state of the world. It's the state of the world. Like I don't even think it's parents. I think it's just the state of the world. And like when parents are invested in their child's education, they be so far like not invested that it's kind of hard to like even figure out what I'm talking about as a teacher. Like I'm calling you, telling you, saying your child can't read, but you
Mm,
saying your child made straight A's in fifth grade. Babe, he's an A. He's not making straight A's right now. So I think a lot of times it'd be like the lack of investment and the lack
mm,
of like paying attention to time from parents that make them be angry. And that doesn't fall on the teacher. I think that simply falls on like the parent. And I think making a parent realize that. Like, I'm not just real with my students, I'm real with my parents too. And I think that's why a lot of parents love me because I told my parents the real about my school, the real things that like I see. And that's how it's supposed to be. Like, not saying education is a business, but like if I'm overseeing your child for these X amount of hours, I think you deserve to know what is really going on with their education. Bringing that up to a point with the parent. I was a grade level chair, and at this particular school, they were trying to do some illegal stuff, Eddie, with this student IEP paperwork. And I'm a content teacher, and I'm supposed to sign off on the paperwork stating that these are set accommodations will be appropriate for this student. And they were trying to like go back and forth with me on what I said was right, and I was trying to tell administration that like you actually don't know. I'm in communication with the parent, so, this is not the accommodation that we're going to allow. They still refused. They still didn't want to hear. I personally called the parent off on my personal phone, call her on my personal phone, and I told her to call the district. The district was out the next day. They did an audit on the report and we got the accommodation.
mm,
And that's all it took. Like, they were giving me pushback. I'm great level two. I'm trying to do my job. Y'all trying to play. I'm going to go ahead and advocate for this student beyond my scope of teaching. I'm going to
mm,
call on my personal phone. I'm going to say, hey, I don't have on my badge right now. I still work at that school, but they doing some illegal stuff up there. Go do what you need to do. And I think that's just what it is. Like that's how you build relationships. It truly takes a village. And I feel like I'm that middleman as like the teacher because like parents really don't know. Not saying that all parents are correct because I have had some stories where parents be dead ass wrong, but like
mm.
they are right and they are invested into their child's education. I think we should give them that grace.
Yeah, grace for sure. Yeah, when parents and teachers work together, then that that can be um, totally silent from the leadership knowing, kids knowing. It's a personal bond that definitely will help out, especially teachers in this climate. Kids are out of
Right.
control, man. They fighting teachers. They hitting them. They talk crazy to them, especially substitutes and it's real crazy. But they run into that one. They run into that one teacher who more than likely ain't playing with nobody. Kids,
That's
look
me.
here, man. I'm grown. And that's why I tell people all the time, I don't think I could teach in this climate, man, because I definitely would make the news. Because I was one of them, for real, for real. But my kids love and respected me because we was in the hood, and I talked to them. I tell the camera can see you, but the camera can't hear you. It's some
Correct.
stuff I'm taking to my grave that I said to these kids in their ear, and they come in and wonder why Mr. Brown got this respect.
Mhm.
I can't tell you. You don't want to know. I can't tell you how I got it, but I
Yep.
got it. So let's ride with what's going on. Now, nitty gritty speaking. Come
Okay.
on now. You know this was coming up.
Ah,
Nitty gritty speaking. Man, if ever some feathers could get ruffled, let me tell you something. With one of
Roughly.
your most recent posts, one of your most recent speak outs, is some feathers that got fluffed up, toe down, were broken, and they responded, and it was, I believe, educated. I didn't go out through the comments and everything, but your actual post was sent to me,
Oh
and
wow.
it was in regards to the conference, the Get Your Teacher On
Mhm.
conference. Now, as a disclaimer, I deal with Get Your Teacher On. I don't know what goes on with the conference.
Okay.
I'm entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
And I deal with the ones who have it together. So we have a great relationship as far as business
Got you.
relationship, and I can get a good bead on if people are genuine or not. They good people, even if it's for a moment or two.
Right.
And I've been with them for like 4 or 5 years now, and every time they've been super just let me on, because you know how I get down. I
Right.
don't know if you see me on the stage or not, but I'm raw, and I try not to curse. That's it,
Right.
because I do have different races of followers, and man, I lost a lot of people because I'm a hood dude. I come from all this, and I'm a nightclub comic, so my mouth was bad, and so
Gotcha.
I know I lost a lot of people over some words. But I tell people all the time, if I did, they weren't supposed to be around no way, because they was on just for the bandwagon, and they wasn't on, for the movement.
Right.
Um, so I heard your comments about the Get Your Teacher On conference, and I didn't get offended. I didn't get offended because everybody's point of view is their point of view. You know what I'm saying? I think we can agree. Even if I have a point of view, you have a point of view, I can still hear what you have to say and try to understand why you saying it. So I think I want to use this moment on here. You ain't gotta say what you said unless if you want to. You ain't gotta say what you said. But I did see like some follow up videos where you was kind of responding to the comments of teachers
Mhm.
that were giving you a little backlash, and a lot of people are quick to give backlash without thoroughly trying to figure out where you were coming from.
Right.
I mean, do you care to talk about that a little bit and just
Oh, I,
explain on that? You don't have to.
you know me,
But,
I don't care.
okay.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
And the reason why we can talk about it because it'd be a difference if I post a video and 90% of the comments are saying I'm wrong. That's not
Yeah.
true. So, you
Okay.
know, I always say, bottom line, we're going to deal with the facts.
Yeah.
That's it. Like anything I say, I thought about. I recorded that video 3 times before I posted. That was the nice
Mm.
version.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people they forget the plot. My follow up video is about kids. It's not about a Get Your Teacher On conference. And like I said, my Reddit or my comments about the conference were not bad. I believe. Like I heard numerous teachers that felt the same way. Like that's just what it is. I think when it comes to calling things out, when you call out things boldly, you're going to get some pushback. And I think bad timing. I can agree with that. It was bad timing, but it's the first of the month, so I had to get some things out. So I'm not mad that I did it on that time. And like I said, I don't think the conference is bad. I
Mhm.
don't think like what Hope Keen is doing is bad. She's a wonderful lady. I did some research on her.
Yeah.
Very amazing educator, past educator. I think what
Mhm.
she's doing is amazing. I think what she needs to do is partner with a lot of educators that look like me and you. And I think she would make that'll blow up for her. But I
Okay.
think when you have that image and you have that like standard of like promotion, you got to understand your babies are going to be there already. Hope they're not the teachers that need need this PD. We need it. We
Mhm.
need to be there to help our counterparts because they are in situations that don't know how to like adjust or they come they find I find them coming to me for help. So that's just like my whole thing, and that's what I was trying to say. And when I don't see a multiple of us, I think it's systemic racism. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and you're entitled to your opinion. And they jumped down like you was just bashing the conference. But when I heard you speak, you used the word capitalism, and some people might think you were going super duper political with it. Capitalism, our society is super crazy right now.
That's
And
America.
I'll be honest with you, man. I had to Google capitalism,
That's
Playboy. I Google capitalism, man. I know they are making money off of it. They
Yeah.
seem like they got something going on. They figured out a formula and it works for them. What would you say to people who will combat what you're saying and be like, hey, well, you can't really trip on, the people who come to the conferences because it seems like it could be they've tapped into districts, being able to pay for their teachers to get there.
Mhm.
Whereas if teachers have to pay to get to any type of professional development, I don't care how fun it is, it's still a professional development.
I think those teachers that got paid for the district, I don't think. I mean, you decided to go. I would have went too if
Yeah,
my teacher paid for it.
yeah.
Not-
Like, okay, this is my story. Before they allowed me to perform and get your teacher on every year,
Mhm.
I didn't know about the conference
Yeah.
because I worked at a low performing Title One no support type school, and they wouldn't dare send us nowhere out of town. And I don't know the bill on that because we just didn't have it. And so they've tapped into people who have it, which is fine, which is fine. But I get what you're saying though. You need to have a little bit more. You're hoping that they can add some inclusion,
Mhm.
more that will deal with inner city kids
Mhm.
that because hey, me performing to get your teacher on, and they took up for me. They took up for me on stage, and this one I knew they was some real ones. Hope and Wade. This one I knew they was some real ones because every conference they put out those cards,
Mhm.
the comment cards, what you like, dislike, and some of them, I talk raw. I don't care what the agenda was
Right.
all week. When I come, it's Eddie B. And I don't know how that worked, but every time it be loaded in there. A lot of teachers look forward to hearing me, right?
Mhm.
But then again, the conference is it's a migration of all walks of educators and
Mhm.
leadership. So they might come from a different side of the tracks. And I would say outlandish stuff. And somebody put on one of the cards one time, how you gonna he's talking about the same thing that y'all told us not to do, right?
Mhm.
Valid, valid. I have no clue what they talked about,
Right.
but my angle. I'm going in there, right?
Right.
And that following year, they read that and they addressed them on stage live in front of me while I was there. I don't know if I hit that. That was when I came off stage, and they
Mhm.
was like, "Look, if you can't laugh about all of this, you missing the whole plight of this whole thing."
Right.
Yeah, I noticed they had boy, you killed them with the glitter. I noticed it is very colorful. I mean, it's a lot of fun stuff. And I think they trying to train them to be happy and laugh, together. But this last time when I performed, I made sure I addressed. I said, "Hey, please don't discount public school teachers who going through a different type of situation. Because I know it's Montessori in there, it's charter in there, it's community support in there, it's more parent support in there."
Mhm.
And I made sure I said that. And one thing I said, and it got a roar. I said, I guarantee you, in one of y'all meetings, in one of y'all trainings and classes, it's a public school teacher in there saying, "This ain't gonna work at my school."
Right.
And they all bust out like, because, I'm sure there are teachers there who can feel like, oh, they got this is beautiful, but I
Mhm.
don't think that's gonna work. And they're scared to say it's not gonna work. I think that what you were saying was you like to have a convo maybe of how they can, and I think they'd be receptive to it.
Mhm.
They really would. But you coming out on your thing, I think teachers just jumped up a little fast, I believe,
Right.
to take up for something like you were bashing teachers or you were bashing the conference. And I quickly picked up on that's not what you was doing.
Right.
You weren't bashing the conference. You was just basically making a big bold statement, but your heart desires, more underserved
Mhm.
communities and schools to be able to go.
Right. And speaking to
Yes.
your point, you made a great point about like what you just said about how teachers maybe they did should pay for them, or maybe there were funds in the budget for that. Not at my charter school, and I'm an
Uh-huh.
amazing teacher. You know what I'm saying? So there
Yeah.
were a lot of great, amazing teachers that were not allowed to go. Not saying that we're hating, we're not, but going back to systemic racism and
Mm,
access to opportunity for all. It
mm,
lives not just with students, it lives with teachers too, because that right there, it's crazy that there's not enough funding in every school district where all teachers can go experience something as such.
big
It's
issue.
bad that certain districts can only afford to send their teachers or only afford to send 6 or 7 teachers. I get budget items and things like that, but there needs to be more access to opportunity for all teachers to experience things like this,
Mm,
where you're not getting my viewpoint like this, because that's what it looks like. Like there's a lack of opportunity for people that look like me, and those teachers that were there that got, I'm pretty sure they didn't pay. They swiped their debit card. They were sitting by their district. I'm
mm,
happy for you, sister. I'm happy for you, brother. I think that is how it should be. My problem and what makes me upset and what makes me want to speak about it is that when there's a lack of access opportunity, you can't tell me you
mm,
were lining all of us up and say that there were more of us there than our other counterparts. And I think the only
mm,
reason why we were there because the people that were there that looked like us either were a presenter, right? You were speaking, you were either entertainment like you were doing, so you had some type of recognition behind you, which is amazing, or you were sent to the conference from your district. And I haven't seen a video for anybody that came out and said that they paid for it. So that's
mhm.
just like what I'm just saying. Like there needs to be more access to opportunity in education when it comes to everything that we do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So,
with that. They're trying to they're implementing a virtual like a streaming side of the Get Your Teacher On now, and I think these cheap ass districts, that we work for, maybe they could take advantage of that because they love to get everybody in one room and pay one fee, you
right,
know, but they'll go overboard to get some excuse my language, bullshit testing stuff that they get contracts for people who create a test that they never taught before, and they'll fund that, just to because it's a numbers game. The
right,
kids are numbers, you know what I'm saying? They gotta pass a standardized test, and don't nobody know what the damn standard is. This kid learn one way, this kid learn one way. I gotta get them all to the same place at the same time in a damn semester. That ain't fair, you
right.
know. So I believe any conference. And what would you say to somebody like, oh, well, get your teacher on? There's other conferences out there, or you just speaking in conferences in general, right? That don't include
And it's
inclusion.
it's not even that. I just think when you are mentioning education, like me, right? For
Yeah.
example, I'm a part of the LGBT community.
Okay.
I am not gonna ever go into a space advocating for the LGBT community when I'm not mentioning how to protect yourself sexually. Like that's just unspeaking of. Like that's unheard of. Like
Gotcha.
for me to be a LGBTQ social worker working in like that community of people, it's very, very important that I do sexual education, especially as a male. And
Mm,
sexual education doesn't even have to be just STDs, STIs. That could be PrEP. That could be PEP. Like there's a lot of things that I can say out of my mouth to advocate for the LGBT community. It should be like that with education on both sides, like
mm,
black and white. It doesn't be like that. It be like this. Like it be all over. Like certain percentage of us feel this way. A certain percentage of us feel this way. There's us in the middle that don't care. We're gonna always say what we want to say, and I think that's why we are in this circle and loop of chaos with education because we are not on the same page.
mm.
But that's the country. You know what I'm saying? I just think education as a whole is going to be one of those professions that's always evolving, and you just have to get with the evolve.
That's
And
true.
with the big beautiful bill coming out, clock it. That was being developed while Get Your Teacher On was happening. But the big beautiful bill has passed law.
Yeah.
Donald Trump signed it. So I think there's a lot of things in the world that we should really be concerned about, especially when it comes to education and funding and all these other things. Like all these things are inherently connected. And
Mhm.
I don't be seeing a lot of people talk about it. And that just makes me a little scared.
Yeah. 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 What you were saying should bring more attention to underfunded institutions and why are they underfunded? What's the root?
Mhm.
What are the laws being passed in the government that affects underprivileged schools? Because they're the one gonna be because I think they're having school choice now. I believe I heard that, and giving to people who can afford to take their kids to a school of their choice,
Mhm.
paying for, and they get more money to pay for, but the kids who their parents don't have money. They get money. Send them where?
Right.
Send
To
them where?
right now too.
Because school choice. I mean, the schools have a choice too.
Right.
They're not going to accept some inner city, especially if the score. They may look at them if the scores are good.
Exactly.
Maybe give them a look if they can improve. But if they're going to do something that I don't think they have programs set up in schools like that for schools that inner city schools that teachers working who have to work a little bit harder to get a
Right.
kid somewhere, and it might not even be considered growth
Right.
because this dude came to my sixth grade class reading on the third grade level. I got him to a fourth grade level by the end of the year, but I failed him districtly speaking because I didn't get him to a damn. I'm a science teacher. What you talking about? I had to
Exactly.
give him to read because it's reading on our on test questions,
Right.
which you make us teach to a
Right.
damn test. Which is not, anyway, we go out there. But you also mentioned another group besides get your teacher on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned another group that's up. You know, I have history with them. Um, I say for somebody couch, I don't talk a lot. A lot of people don't know what happens with me
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of this. It's a business, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come in to. I was just venting, man, and
Right.
everything else came with it. And some people they can take. Let me not, okay, I'm not gonna say that word. They see what you're doing that works, and they see the result of it. And if they can make money off of it, they put a business model on it and package it and turn it into a business model.
Mm-hmm.
And they take or they use content creators like you, me, Ty, you
That's
know, who are very outspoken. They'll take the edge of it and try to turn it into. I'm talking about the. I'm gonna say the rhyming words with it, scored features.
mm-hmm.
Um, they created a business model after what went on with me, which is fine, man. And I'm super gullible, man, when it comes to teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I fade that heat. I fade that heat, man, all day long. Whatever works, I'm like, oh, hey, if teachers benefit from it, yeah, do that.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, you can take my video. You want my video? Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you want me to take my watermark off of it? Yeah, I'll take my watermark off of it, and you can use that if
Right.
it's for teachers. Oh yeah, do that. I didn't know. I just didn't know why I was being. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But when I figured it out, or when it hit me, I'm like, all right. So yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I have no ill will toward anybody. If you working toward teachers, work toward teachers. But if you trying to monopolize it and turn it into something, and yeah, I don't like that at all.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
I'd have been, I'm gonna shut up. And I already said too much about it, but I've always taken up for people, even if
Mm-hmm. I
they
got
real, they real. I don't know how to talk about it, man. So I'm gonna let you. You can address it. I don't know what your dealings have been in that with that organization, but I try to be for the people. I am for the
you.
people, but there's no way I can just keep being for the people. And I'm thrown off by something that's happening. I gotta keep my cool.
I
And
got
don't nobody like the angry guy.
you.
You know what I'm saying? I can really be that, but just put like this here. I pray a lot, I cry a lot,
Got
and
you.
that stuff don't get to people.
Got
So that other group you mentioned, I'm anxious to hear, what
you.
your
Yeah.
take is on them, or do you put them in the same category with?
So I actually like before I make my comments about everything in general, I wasn't going to say I was a fan of their work. I like their concept, if that makes sense. And this might come off a little haterish, but it's not really because I can replicate what they're doing. So it's
Yeah.
not bad. But like I think for me, it also goes back to access to opportunity, Eddie. And when I'm like speaking about these things, I'm speaking because there's not enough representation. And it seems like to me, right, they only want a certain type of teacher representing education. And I see that a lot with everything education related when it's coming to brand and education. Hear me when I'm following. It's because
Mm,
like we brand education,
mm,
but it doesn't look the same as if America is branding education. And
mm,
I think like going back to that piece of like liability, I think they have in their mind that they're gonna lose following. They might lose following, or they might people their subscribers might not subscribe to our content, which is not true. Like that's just like not true at all. I
mm,
think their business model and how they like exist is just like family oriented. And that's when I did some research. It was a group of teachers that just came together and created this. And I think it worked for them. I
mm,
think they could be so much bigger and so much more if they did like audition calls or allow people to audition for certain sets, give people a chance. Like I feel like when you ignore content creators, because I have reached out to them,
okay.
I've sent them professional emails. I've reached out DM, Instagram, and I just want an opportunity to audition. That's all I ask. Like, give me an opportunity to be who I am. Like, I can go on the stage and not curse. That's easy for me to do. But like,
So
give
you
me
so you telling me you can do stand up? You trying to do stand up?
yeah. I want to do
Oh,
education stand up. Like
okay.
that's what I would love to do. But I DM'd them, asked them for like opportunity, just an opportunity to like showcase who I am, and it has always been crickets. And when I post that video on my story on my TikTok about Get Your Teach On, and I mentioned them, other creators were in the comments saying the same thing. Like they reached out to them, and it's been a ghost thing type of thing. So I don't know
Mm.
what that's about. I know they see my video, but like I just don't like how they made us content creators feel little than. Like I feel like they want to be the supreme content creator for teachers, and this is like it's cute, but it's like it's not us,
You try to monopolize the market
right? And
because
I like
because
collaborating. That's another thing. I'm not a mean girl, so it's like it's not that like I hate. Like, I'm not racist or I can't even be racist, but it's like I'm not like prejudiced or anything. It's just you have one black teacher. Like I see one black teacher on your comedy tour. What's going on with that? Like I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And then I heard the reviews. Like I never been to one of their shows. They come here all the time, mind you. They come here all the time. But I never been one of their shows. But I heard the shows are boring. So that's that.
my thing is for a while a lot of people thought I was on that tour. Now I could say something about that, but what I'm gonna say is what I did was I addressed it. So people they put a post out
Uh huh.
about their tour, and they marketing strategies. We're the number one this and number one that. It's that's fun. That's fine. I had teachers only tour to begin with, and very successful, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy numbers, man.
That's amazing.
Um, I was on one of their posts, and a lot of people were like, "Where ADB at?" Because they put a little what's the name out, and then of course I got tagged in it, so I see the comment. First thing I do is go on the post. I say, "Hey, no, I'm not a part of this tour.
Ah,
I have my own tour." But on top of that, I say, "Hey, but go support them too." That's what I said. It ain't a doubt in my mind that would be reciprocated, bro.
right.
But which is fine. Which is fine. You following the model. I get it. You got your own thing. My people have looked at the reviews too, and that's fine. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be on Teachers After Dark. That's probably when I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
I'm gonna,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna say I'm there, but my people just know that I am. Yeah, I hold back a lot in my position because I didn't even see where I was. I just love my people. I thought I was the
right.
only teacher that went through that, and come to find out, there's a whole nation of teachers that feel like me. Oh, I'm in love,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know this business side came with it. With other people trying to grab what you getting and they counting your pockets. I never did that. Matter of fact, when I made a little money, man, I dropped. True story. I dropped 25,000 in Houston at what's that Lakeshore Learning Store
Oh, wow.
over there, and yeah, teachers lined up all the way around the corner just so they can get supplies. I gave everybody got $200 gift cards for the store,
That's so
right?
good.
So many came that I had to open up the registers again to give the other people at least $100, right?
Right.
Didn't have no cameras there, no nothing there, because I was always taught, your left hand should know what's right. You know how that go.
Right, right, right.
Black mamas, in the church, they tell you, let people, and that's the model. But if I was thinking right, I should have. I should have posted it. I should have,
Mhm.
maybe I get some more help. Hell, I
Right,
can't
right,
keep doing this. But I thought it was beautiful, but I thought it was sad too. The teachers
right,
had to line up around the corner to get stuff that we supposed to be afforded. I mean, we supposed to get. We shouldn't come out of our pocket to pay for that. But
right,
anyway, they took my passion and my love and my was it naivety? That's a
right.
good word. They took that and people will pounce on it trying to make bread. So yeah, I ain't gonna be on there. I ain't gonna be on there too long, but it kind of rubbed me a little bit, and I got to fight to just to be what my people need me to be. So they don't know none of this part about me, but I can kind of sense that in the near future, some things gonna come out with receipts,
Mhm.
and uh, that real is that real. Carbon copies are carbon copies. And T.I. said it best: the real recognize real, and the fake fade away. It'll
There it
finally
is.
fade away. So, what advice would you give to a stressed out teacher, real briefly, in about a minute? What advice would you give to a teacher who say they stressed out?
So pray. I definitely I think a lot of teachers need to pray and really go to God and ask, is this profession for you? And how long do you want me into this work? I think that's the prayer that I went to God with. And he gave me answers. A lot of times you could be hindering the system and not helping the system when you're still working in the system.
Mm,
And I said again, sometimes you could be hindering the system, not helping the system when you are still working in the system. Um, Shockingly, I'm still impacting education without being in it. So I think that is a part of me. I feel like I'm one of those pioneers or one of those people that just have it in me that is just like are going to always hit the nail when it comes to those topics in education. But I just truly feel like my God given gift is to help people. And if you are a teacher right now, remember that. Like, I signed up to do this job to help kids. And there's going to be a lot of external factors that stop that. But like, I need to find balance in how I control my emotions. A lot of people don't know this about me, Eddie, but I'm a runner. Like, I run every single day. I done 5Ks, 10Ks, 3.1 miles, like 13.1 miles, half marathons. And that's how I like got through the school year. Like when I would see Matt mean comments, go for a run. When administration done pissed me off to like the back of my bald head, I go for a run. So I think finding a healthy balance to do this work is also important too.
for
So
sure.
that's my
For sure.
advice.
That's real. That's real. If you could change something about when you started teaching the whole 4 year career, what would
Mhm.
you change different if you had an opportunity, like knowing what you know now about what teachers go through, what you went through personally in education in those 4 years you work? What
Mhm.
if you could change anything? What would you change about having to start all over? What would you do different?
I've never been asked that before, so give me a second to think.
Yeah.
I would definitely, I would say, put myself on a better track
Okay.
to do
How
my
so?
content. To do my content, if that makes sense. Because
Oh, to start your content
oh, you talking
sooner.
about in general as a teacher? Like what would I
Yeah,
have?
teacher. A teacher.
Oh, as a teacher,
Yeah.
I would definitely say don't worry about like adults my
Mhm.
first year. I think like as a first year teacher, you're kind of like equally excited, but you're like nervous at the same time. For
Yeah.
me, I was in a place that was unfamiliar. I was in Texas, so
Mhm.
coming from Florida, being a Florida boy, I just had like a lot of high anxiety, and I just wanted to do right all the time. If that makes sense.
Yes.
If I can give anybody any advice, fuck up. Make fuck ups, girl. It's gonna be okay. Like I think I used to like really stress myself out. Used to be at the school 6 o'clock making copies. At the end of the day is going to end. And I
Yeah.
think like not burning out your first year matters. It definitely matters, and it matters about your trajectory of like if you want to stay into the profession. So not burning yourself out your first year. I did that a lot my first year.
Sure. Yeah,
Burnt myself.
I think a lot of teachers come from Teach for America. That happens to them too because it's a shock value when
Mm,
they get really into it and they get out of those books and out that classroom, those teachings, and they get into a situation like, oh hell,
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. So they
Yeah.
get a little 2 years and they end up going to law school or something, man. I
Yeah.
don't.
A
Yeah,
lot of core members don't got that back there, so
for sure.
it's definitely an accomplishment. The 2 years are not meant to. And Teach for America, I'll tell you this. This is why I loved. Oh, I love Teach for America. I got some. I can't even talk about it, but I love Teach for America down. But like Teach for America talks about that. Like we
Okay.
tell our core members, nobody goes to Teach for America and be like, "Oh, I did Teach for America." Like Teach for America is supposed to. It's
Yeah.
supposed to tell you up, and Teach for America has never got on me about my content. I've been
Mhm.
a core member for like since 2021. Like everything on my page is talking about education and equity, and they look for people like me and you. They want leaders that want to fight systemic racism in education. So I think
Gotcha.
a lot of the fight came from me being an anti-racist teacher. I spent a summer learning how to become an anti-racist teacher. Ain't nothing about me racist, but I know how to call out systemic racism when it comes to black and brown kids in public
Mhm.
schools. That's something that nobody can't tell me Teach for America didn't teach me. I can see it. I know how to call it out. I can identify it. I know when kids are not getting resources as a result of it. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I get all the backlash. Like, I think about the Bloody Sunday in Alabama. I would
Mhm.
have been with that group, Eddie. I would have been I would have been on that bridge. What's
Mhm.
up, police? Like, y'all are not gonna do that to my people. And I think that's just like how I carry myself. When it comes to black and brown people and it comes to kids that look like me, I am gonna go through the fight. I am gonna take the bruises. I don't mind. Because that's what my ancestors did.
For sure, for sure. Hey man, I just wanna give you big kudos for speaking out on categories and addressing subcategories
I appreciate it.
that a lot of people probably scared to address, and it probably it's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot
Yeah.
of people. Seeing where we live in society and what's going on, it's a lot of stuff going on between races
Right.
right now, and you can feel it when you in the streets. I see it, I feel it a lot too.
Mhm.
But in this industry, in this family, in this community, we feel with a whole bunch of different type of races, and we all family. Some of them may be a certain way, but I know there are some teachers that don't look like us that are for us. Vice versa. People of color
I
accept teachers of,
yeah.
but that don't mean that you can't try to strive, for equal opportunities in districts for everybody,
Right.
inner city schools and the more privileged campuses.
Right. And I want to say this too, Eddie. I want to interject because I go through your comments and I see a lot of people that are of different race supporting your comments and everything that you're saying, and it be some
Hmm.
real ass shit.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look into this camera. Keep saying it.
Yeah.
Keep being you are the people that I love to work with. When you have anti-racist qualities in your hand, you know how to address that, and you are of a different race. You won in my book because I
Mhm.
that's all I want. I want you to call it out. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that be in my comment that don't look like me. That be like, I am a middle-aged white woman. I don't have to be a teacher. I'm a teacher. But everything you're saying about this is right. It's happening in education. And I
Mhm.
think that's what we're asking for. That's what we yearn for. Like we want it to be called out. Because when you're silent about it, you're saying it's okay. It's okay to happen. It's okay for me to do a podcast and I only have like one black person per month. That's not okay, bro. It's not like okay, especially when you're making posts about education every week. You're not in the classroom. You're not in the classroom. It's easy for me to find a picture of Nicki Minaj and say closing my classroom doors to Monday.
Mhm. Hey, I just wanna say, hey, thank you for agreeing to being on the podcast today with me, man. It was a pleasure to speak with you, listen to you, to
Thank you
your
for having
point
me.
of view, man. To all of my followers out there, if somebody who may not be familiar with your content and they may want to follow you, or how would they follow you on your social media outlets? Can you give them your contact, or how they can follow you on
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram,
So,
TikTok?
anything business related, you can email me at teachwithsirb@gmail.com. That email is also in my bio on TikTok, and my Instagram is sirking.b. Follow me, follow me, follow me. I'm not really active on Instagram. And the reason why I just don't want to manage two accounts, even though I know I could like monetize my content, but we're not at that point on me being on Instagram. I do have an Instagram, but you can add my Instagram, Eddie. It's my personal Instagram. I don't talk about anything teacher related on my Instagram. So
Okay, yeah.
that's that.
every right to not do that, man. You gotta have 2
I gotta
pages.
have a cutoff because I can't see it. As soon as I get on Instagram and I'm not following people and I see my content, I'm like, how you got this? So it's just like too much to manage when it comes to having multiple accounts. But if I continue to do educational content, I think you can only get bigger, right?
Mhm.
So, that day will come when I need to. But right now I'm just on TikTok.
For sure, for sure. Hey man, baby steps. So hey, follow him. If you don't, just check out some of his content, man, and just teachers. You need to follow teachers and support teachers, and just really understand what we are, trying to get across. So I'm glad you're able to come on, man, and speak your mind on a lot of different topics that we talked about today. Um, one more time, this has been your boy Eddie B, special guest Sir B. Make sure you follow him on his outlets, mainly TikTok. You want to email him, he gave his email out, and that'll be on here too. It's your boy Eddie B, the Bad Boy Education. Your favorite teacher, signing out. One of the hottest podcasts for educators in the nation. The Teachers Only Podcast with your boy Eddie B. We'll see y'all next week, man.